In this video, we'll guide you through assembling your new Forest Master compact electric log splitter. The log splitter comes with the components needed to assemble the stand, as well as the following parts: the left and right trays, the mesh panels, the tray supports, hardware, and the product manual. Step 1. Remove the wheels. Remove the hubcap from the wheel with a flathead screwdriver. Remove the retaining circlip from the groove using circlip pliers. Then, remove the wheel. Repeat for the other wheel. Step 2. Remove the front leg. To simplify the stand assembly, lean the log splitter vertically against a wall with the motor end at the bottom. Remove the 5 nuts and bolts securing the front foot to the main body with a 13mm spanner. Remove the front foot from the log splitter. Step 3. Attach the wheels to the rear axle bar. Attach one of the previously removed wheels to the rear axle bar. Reattach the previously removed circlip using circlip pliers. Alternatively, you can secure the wheel with one of the provided split pins. Insert the pin through the holes on the axle end. Bend the ends of the split pin with pliers to secure it to the axle. After securing the circlip or split pin, reattach the hubcap by pushing it into place. Repeat the process on the other side. Step 4. Attach the rear legs to the log splitter. Attach a rear leg to the wheel carriage and secure it with an M8x20 cap head bolt and M8 nut. Continue threading the bolt and nut with a 13mm spanner and 6mm hex key. Do not tighten fully. Repeat the process on the other side. Step 5. Attach the rear axle bar to the rear legs. Partially thread the M10x20 bolts into their respective holes on the rear axle bar, ensuring they do not protrude through the other side. Attach the rear axle bar and wheel assembly to the rear legs, ensuring the M10x20 bolts face downward. Tighten the M10x20 bolts with a 16mm spanner. Note that the rear legs have no holes for these bolts. The bolts simply tighten against the rear legs. Step 6. Attach the front leg to the log splitter. Attach the front leg to the log splitter, aligning the holes. Insert the M8x20 bolts through the aligned holes and secure them with a flat washer, spring washer, and M8 nut from the opposite side. Step 7. Attach the longitudinal beam. Connect the longitudinal beam to the front leg and rear axle bar. Secure the longitudinal beam to the front leg using an M10x20 bolt. Tighten with a 16mm spanner. Note that the longitudinal beam has no holes for these bolts. The bolts simply tighten against the beam. Adjust the rear legs to square the stand. Secure the longitudinal beam to the rear axle bar with the last M10x20 bolt. Then, tighten it with a 16mm spanner. Step 8. Tighten all loose bolts. Tighten the M8x20 bolts, securing the front leg with two 13mm spanners. Tighten the M8x20 cap head bolt, securing the rear legs with a 6mm hex key and 13mm spanner. Step 9. Cut the longitudinal beam. Mark the longitudinal beam where it meets the rear axle bar. Loosen the M10x20 bolt with a 16mm spanner and slide the rear axle bar away from the mark. Cut the longitudinal beam at the marked point using a hacksaw. Smooth the cut edges of the longitudinal beam with a file. Slide the rear axle bar to the end of the cut longitudinal beam. Secure it in place by tightening the M10x20 bolt with a 16mm spanner. The stand assembly is complete. We can now proceed with the workbench and cage assembly. Before you proceed, it is important to note that the following steps are required for users in the European Union and United Kingdom due to CE and UKCA safety regulations. This product is supplied with a workbench and safety cage for enhanced safety, preventing the risk of injury from flying debris. While these components are recommended for use, their removal is at the user's discretion. Forest Master Limited cannot be held responsible for any accidents or injuries that occur as a result of removing these components. Step 10. Remove the log support rails. Locate the cap head bolt securing the log support rails and use a 5mm hex key to remove them. Step 11. Attach the tray supports to the trays. Locate an M6x20 coach bolt and insert it through the square hole of the left tray. Raise the left tray until the end of the coach bolt is visible. Secure the coach bolt using an M6 flat washer and an M6 nut. Then, with a 10mm spanner, tighten the nut, but do not tighten fully. The gap between the flat washer and the tray should be just wide enough to allow the tray support to fit snugly. With the tray support now in place, fully tighten the M6 nut using a 10mm spanner. Repeat the process on the right tray. Step 12. Attach the trays to the log splitter. Remove the rear bolts from each side of the front leg using two 13mm spanners. Make sure to keep the M8 nuts, flat washers and spring washers as these will be reused later. Locate the inner rear hole from the underside of the left tray. Slide an M6 flat washer onto an M6x16 cap head bolt and insert it into the hole. Line up the left tray with the left side of your log splitter. Insert the cap head bolt through the hole in the rear mounting boss on the log splitter and tighten by hand. Do not tighten fully. Secure the front of the tray using the same method. Secure the tray support to the front leg using the included coach bolt and the M8 flat washer, spring washer, and nut that you removed earlier. Do not tighten fully. Repeat these steps to attach the right tray. Join the two tray assemblies together by using two M6x16 cap head bolts with their flat washers and secure them with two M6 nuts. Use a 5mm hex key and 10mm spanner to tighten the connection. Use the 5mm hex key to tighten the cap head bolt securing the left tray. Gently pull down the left tray until the tray support snugly fits onto the coach bolt. While holding the tray down, tighten the M8 nut from the other side with a 13mm spanner. Repeat the process to secure the right tray. Step 13. Attach the side mesh panels to the trays. Slide an M6 flat washer and a small clamp plate onto an M6x16 button head bolt. Locate the left mesh panel and position the small clamp plate with the bolt and washer attached on the fourth square in from the corner along the long side. Raise the mesh panel and guide the attached bolt through the rear hole on the left tray. Secure the mesh panel to the tray by hand tightening an M6 nut from the other side. Do not over-tighten. Repeat the process for the rest of the holes on the left tray. Use a 10mm spanner and a 4mm hex key to tighten the bolts securely. Follow the same steps to attach the right mesh panel. Step 14. Attach the remaining mesh panels. Line up a large clamp plate so its two holes align with the second and fourth squares from the top front corner of the right mesh panel. Attach it using two M6x16 button head bolts with their flat washers and small clamp plates, securing them with their M6 nuts from the other side. Do not tighten fully. Repeat the process on the left mesh panel. Locate the forward top mesh panel and place it above the two large clamp plates. Attach the forward top mesh panel to one of the large clamp plates using an M6x16 button head bolt with its flat washer and small clamp plate, and hand tighten it partially with an M6 nut. Repeat the process on the other side. Using a 4mm hex key and 10mm spanner, fully secure the clamp plates. Line up another large clamp plate on the left mesh panel. Position it so there's a gap of 5 squares between it and the large clamp plate already attached. Then attach it using the same method as before. Repeat the process on the right mesh panel. Locate the mid-top mesh panel and attach it to the large clamp plates using the same method as before. Locate the rear mesh panel and position it against the back of the left tray, ensuring its loop matches the inner hole. Ensure the second square from the corner of the rear mesh panel aligns with the outer hole of the left tray. Then, insert an M6 button head bolt with its small clamp plate and flat washer through the holes and hand tighten it with an M6 nut from the other side. Do not tighten fully. Repeat the process through the loop of the rear mesh panel and inner hole of the left tray. Once you've done that, tighten these bolts and nuts securely using a 10mm spanner and 4mm hex key. Position a large clamp plate on the rear mesh panel so its holes align with the 4th and 6th squares from the top right corner. Then attach it using the same method as before. Repeat the process on the left mesh panel. Locate the rear top mesh panel and position it above the large clamp plates. Ensure the 2 wire loops are positioned on the underside of the mid-top mesh panel. Attach the rear top mesh panel to the large clamp plates using the same method as before. Locate where the 2 wire loops align with the squares of the mid-top mesh panel. Then, through one of the loops and squares, insert an M6x16 button head bolt along with its small clamp plate and flat washer. Then, slide another small clamp plate onto the bolt from the other side and hand tighten an M6 nut to secure it. Do not tighten fully. Repeat the process on the other wire loop. Lastly, tighten the bolts and nuts with a 10mm spanner and 4mm hex key. You have now successfully assembled your Forest Master compact log splitter. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.